Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to be really serious. There's going to be no trolling, no BS, me just being straightforward with people, being mature about a situation, because this is one of those situations to where we need some maturity and we need to set aside the trolling. And I like to troll on the internet. I like to do funny stuff, but this isn't really a laughing matter. And I really need to set the record straight. And I wanted to leave this alone for months because I was hoping that Mark would move on. But Mark has continued to make videos. He's continued to basically be manipulative. And Mark, I'm going to call you on that you know that you told a lie about what our last conversation was because you said you understood why I was blocking you. I made it very, very clear. And then I proceeded to speak to your mother on the phone because your mother called me on your behalf after I blocked your phone number on top of it. And I had a very lengthy conversation with your mother, and I'm sure she explained some of that to you also. So, for his audience who are coming over to my channel, or some of my followers who are like, oh, you're being mean to Mark. He's your number one fan. How could you be so mean to somebody? Let's come over to that. Mark crossed inappropriate boundaries with me multiple times, and I told him no to the things, and I'm not going to get into the details, and I'm not going to get into Mark's backstory. I do know Mark's backstory from speaking to his mother at length because she called me and talked to me about him. All right, we talked about it quite a bit, and I did let her know that I didn't want him contacting me again, and that I didn't want him around. I didn't want him coming into my life in any way. He wasn't welcome. And it's not that he was a bad person, it's that I'm not comfortable with him. Okay, Mark, let's come over to that point. Now, you made a whole video trying to apologize, and then telling your audience a lie that I blocked you because of rack pulls. Mark, you stood there and said that you're a good person, and all these people are like you're a good person, and I said that you're not a good person. Do you know why I said that? Because good people, when other people tell them no, and they set boundaries, and you push those boundaries, and they repeatedly tell you no, and then they tell you this is the last warning you're going to get. No means no, and you need to understand that, Mark. You're a big guy. You're well over 6 foot tall. You've been close to 300 pounds. You're a big guy. You need to learn that when another person tells you no, you're being inappropriate, you're crossing inappropriate boundaries with me. You're crossing my personal boundaries. When they say no, you need to understand the words that no means no. No means no. And it doesn't matter whether it's another guy, particularly like it's a girl or something else. Yeah, no means no. You know that you crossed inappropriate boundaries, and I told you that I was going to be blocking you on all my social media. I was going to block you on my phone, and that was the end of it. And you said that you understood, and I told you it was because you crossed inappropriate boundaries, and I gave you a last warning, and you continued to do so. Is that the behavior of a good person? Is your behavior and your actions, is that what a good person does when someone else who you say you want to be their friend and they tell you no on something? They say something's inappropriate, and they say no, and you continue to push a matter. Is that what a good person does? It's not. That's not the behavior of a good person, Mark. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but your behavior isn't that of a good person. Your behavior is bad. And if you want to be a good person, your behavior is going to have to be good. And the level of behavior that you had with me was inappropriate. And I told you that, and I gave you a last warning. I gave you a warning and said, if this happens again, I'm going to block you. What did you do? You did it anyways. And then when I told you I was blocking you and why, you said, I understand. And then I blocked you on everything. I blocked you on my private Facebook. I blocked you on my fan page. I blocked you on my channel. And I put your name into the filter because I was hoping that if I didn't let people talk about you and I put your name in my spam filter, that people wouldn't discuss you and you would move on. All right, you proceeded to make videos. And your mother called me after that, Mark, and you know that you had your mother call me and talk to me on your behalf. And you know that her and I had a lengthy conversation. We talked for over 30 minutes. And I'm sure she reiterated some of that conversation to you, that it was not appropriate and that I did not want you contacting me again. I made that very clear, very politely, just like I'm being polite right now. Then you proceeded after all of that to collaborate with people who you know committed criminal offenses against me. You got and brought people with you to a gym, and you filmed with two individuals who you know committed, and I have open criminal cases still. I have all their information. The police have all their information. I know their real names. I know where one of them goes to school. I know where the other one works, who committed criminal trespass just by crossing into my fence line. They committed criminal harassment, and they committed stalking. All right. They committed criminal offenses against me, and you proceeded to do a video together with them. Is that the behavior of a good person? I'm not going to get into the other details because I don't want to talk about some of that further, but I'm not going to get into further things that I think that they did. But that's inappropriate, Mark. And when you start hanging out with people, when you start hanging out with people who have committed actual crimes against me, have broken the law and committed crimes against me, apologizing is not going to make me be your friend. That's it. That's it. There is never any coming back from that, Mark. You can never be my friend. You are never free to contact me. I don't want you coming near me. You've associated and hung out with and collaborated with people who have committed crimes against me, unapologetically so. All right, there is no apology for that. And that's what his followers need to understand. He flat lied to you guys about why he got blocked. And I'm not going to get into the private details of that, but he crossed personal boundaries with me numerous times, and I told him no. And I gave him a final warning, and he didn't listen, just like he didn't listen when people told him about his form. He doesn't listen when people tell him things. And people who are saying he's a good person, I'm like, I'm sorry. Good people, when you tell them, no, you're crossing my personal boundaries, and they repeatedly do so, that's not what good people do. Good people don't claim that they're a fan of someone or like someone and then hang out with people who commit crimes against them, and they know those people committed crimes against that person. Go hang out and be friends with those people. That's not what good people do. That's not what honest people do. That is what two-faced people do. All right, that is not the behavior of a good person. So when I made that statement in my thing, because he made a video, got upset about it, I said he's not a good person. That's why. That's why. And that's what I would say to Mark. You need to move on. You're not welcome to be my friend. I do not accept your apology. You need to work on your behavior. You need to work on understanding your boundaries with other people. You need to understand when people tell you no that it means no. And you need to understand that there is a point with other people where you can cross certain lines that an apology isn't going to be good enough, and they're not going to accept your apologies. Saying I'm sorry, particularly after you hung out with those other individuals and put it all up on the internet, there's no apology for that. There is no forgiveness for that. You're not welcome to be around me. I'm not going to coach you. You're not coachable because you don't listen. You don't even listen to personal boundaries. Mark, I mean, what's going to happen if you just decide you want a girl and she tells you no? Okay? You don't understand personal boundaries, and you need to learn that behavior. You need to learn the behavior of understanding people's personal boundaries, Mark, because your behavior was inappropriate. And I told you that 5 months ago when I blocked you. And it's the same thing. Mark isn't free to contact me for the same reason that I haven't given Jason Genova my new phone number. Jason Genova is not free to call me. These are both individuals that, due to their own life circumstances, struggle with personal boundaries. They don't understand other people's personal boundaries, and I don't need people like that in my life. So again, for all of his fans or people who maybe like Mark and what he does and they think that I should associate with him, it's not going to happen. I've told him why already. He knows why. He's pretending he doesn't. He's pretending it's about rack pulls or his training. It's not. It's about crossing personal boundaries. I've told his mother it's not going to happen. And so from henceforth, since I'm making this video, any of you who come over and say that in any of my comments or you send me a private message, you're going to be banned also. Because I've made it very, very clear I am not going to associate with Mark. And Mark might claim to be a fan, but he doesn't follow anything that I teach. He doesn't listen to anything that I say. When he came to me, even talking to me, he didn't even listen to a single piece of training advice that I gave him. He ignored all of it. Right? He is not a follower of my channel. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I am setting the record straight because he's now told a lie saying that I blocked him because of rack pulls. All right, Mark, you know that's not true, and if you forgot, you can go talk to your mother about it again and ask her, because I explained the situation to her clearly also. You need to move on. We are not going to be friends. You need to move on with your life, and you need to learn to respect people's personal boundaries. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.